Hey Helen, I'm heading to the Salon. I desperately need a blowout.
We have lots to talk about. Meet you there in 5.
This is the Blowout podcast.
The salon industry is not in good shape.
Sure isn't.
Welcome back to the Blowout. This is part 2 of our session on sales and marketing tips and ideas to take your business into another level and future-proof it. But, you know, what I love is being a bit creative, because I think with marketing, so many people just do things because they think everyone else is doing it. So you look at their Instagram and it's just literally headshots, isn't it? The back of people's heads. Mm. And yes, of course, visually that's good for every, now and again. But it does need to be more than that. And we do need to get a bit more creative. And I do think loyalty cards, loyalty points, loyalty schemes work. I really do. Yep. BA, for instance, have just made their bronze card. I'm only a bronze BA member because I only go to Ibiza and back. Unless you do long haul, you don't get anything more than that. But I'm there all the bloody time, as you know. So I'm flying back and forth a lot. And their bronze card has now become completely unreachable. And I just think you're really silly, actually, because I've taken like 25 flights and I think you need to take 25. I'm like at 22, in a year. But actually, it's silly to make it so unachievable now, because now I'll think, I know you can't imagine me on Ryanair. I don't think me and Michael O'Leary will get on.
Not really sure.
Do you think?
No, not you on those plastic chairs.
But seriously, I just think to myself that there's no call to action now to book my BA trip. I'm taking my sister away for her birthday, and that's going to be long haul. And I would have booked through the BA travel site. So I do think we need to look at what other people are doing and just be mindful of what works. Yeah. People love a loyalty card. They like to get something back in return. And I think any salon that's not running a loyalty card or selling their own gift vouchers, I know everybody wanted to be look fantastic. We all should have opened. We all should have been look fantastic. We all should have, had that success story. But at the end of the day, the online shop for us is quite good business, but the majority of our online shop business is gift vouchers. Yeah. Because Amazon can't sell a gift voucher for Richard Ward or Alchemy and I. So that's an opportunity that people miss, I think.
And I think if you've got a booking system, like a good booking system will have a loyalty scheme in it.
Yes.
And most people probably aren't utilising it.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how small you are. If you're a sole trader, a freelancer, you should be doing a little loyalty scheme because that's what people want. And they're going to choose like, I can get £5 off there. I'm going to go, I love a Marks and Spencer's £5 voucher when they used to do them.
Oh yeah.
They don't do them
And a goodie
anymore.
bag. Who doesn't love a goodie bag?
Love a goodie bag.
And a goodie bag is something that's really good to do,
Like
I think.
New customers maybe.
Yeah, new customers get a goodie bag. And you can put, I'm not going to say it. Edit. You can put any old shit in a goodie bag.
Why is that editing?
No, I'm joking.
Oh.
But but you can't you? You put any. Look, sometimes if I got stuff that's going out or stock that hasn't sold, stick it in a bloody goodie bag.
Yeah.
Off
It's
you
dead
go.
stock anyway. It's not going to go anywhere. But I think, like you say, going back to the salon owner who's on the shop floor, they've got to be more aware of what's going on, because otherwise you're just a lifestyle business. If you're actually running a business to run, to have a livelihood, employ people, you're running a serious business and you kind of need to act like it.
I don't think they think they're business owners.
Is it because they think that they're just a small business, or that they're...
I think they just think, I'm a hairdresser, but you're not. You're running a business. You've got the keys in your hand.
You've got everyone's livelihood.
They don't give themselves time and then they burn out. And, charge more for you because you are the owner and you should be charging more. Mark yourself out from 9 till 10. Yep. Mark yourself out from 5 till 6. And that's your hours where you're doing things. Yep. And you are delegating. And you are not just thinking, I can't mark myself out because that's a client that I'll lose. Because if you charge more money to the other three, you don't want to be the busiest person in the salon. No. You've got to pass that mantle on to somebody else. Yeah. This is the critical thing, and this is where you see a lot of burnout happen.
And if you burn out in a shit year, like, it's just so bad. Like, you've got to have a clear head. And I think as well, like, you've got to have the right team around you. like we've had over the years lots of poisonous eggs, you know.
I was going to talk to you about that.
Oh, you know, you just know, you can smell the egg. It's not good. It's been off for a while, but you just like, oh no, they're bringing the money in. That's fine.
Right.
You carry on.
I've got a story about a poisonous egg.
Okay.
We had a very poisonous person working in the salon. And like you say, it's not an instant thing. It builds up over time. And it dawned on me one day. I walked into the salon. Now, I think I was pregnant with my daughter. So this is 26 years ago.
Well,
and I walked into the salon and this person made me feel uncomfortable in my own salon. If someone is making you feel uncomfortable in your own, it should feel like your living room. It should feel like you can walk through that business and you feel comfortable. So that's my red flag. If someone is making me feel uncomfortable,
or you're on eggshells,
or I'm on eggshells, I'm feeling just not relaxed around their company, it's because my intuition, now I'm old enough to know, is right, that they are not happy, they're a bad egg, they're poisoning the other members of the team, they're creating a culture that isn't right. You have to stamp it out. And when I've got my performance flow chart, and it comes down to one question. There's two sides of this flow chart, which anyone's ever done any of my courses will have done this with me.
we can put this at the bottom of the episode if anyone wants to
for
see
this.
it.
You've got to be joking.
Fuck, all right then. It's not free. Sorry, guys.
No, I'm mucking about. But, you know, the whole point is the question at the top of the flow chart is, could they do it if their life depended on it? So if we're looking at a performance issue, could they do it if their life depended on it? If the answer is yes, then it's attitude. If the answer is no, then it's training. Simple as that. But the question is, could that behaviour change if their life depended on it? Then it's an attitude issue. And if you don't deal with it and stamp it out straight away, it will fester and it will grow and it will mushroom and it will rub off on other people. I've told you this story, but when I was running Harrods Hair and Beauty Salon, I was the youngest person ever to run that. So we're talking 1991. I was 23 or 24, something like that. And I had 180 people working there. And I was young, I was naive. I was way too young to be doing the job. Responsible for £4 million a year worth of turnover. And one day, this particularly poisonous old thing came in and said, I know that I can say that because I know that they're dead now.
Okay.
Because they're practically dead then.
That's okay.
So they must be dead by now.
God rest their soul.
Yes. Said, we all think, I said, let me stop you there. Go and get all the people, that is we.
I love it.
Go and get them all. And they went, what? I said, no, come back with them all. Come back with the... Well, actually, what I mean is I think, oh, you mean you? Okay, so there's nobody else that thinks this? You're speaking for yourself, are you?
Just decided to put the word we.
Not just me, but I mean other people. I said, go and get the other people. And, you know, there is a lesson there of just never allowing someone to intimidate you like that. I don't do we all.
Who?
Get them.
Yeah.
Because sure as hell, you know, because I was always that girl at school that would go, Miss, we all think, and they go, Helen Saunders, get and sit outside the headmaster's office. Because, of course, when I turned around and said, but you all said you thought we should be able to have our ears pierced and wear makeup, everyone went quiet.
But I think it's a really tricky one. Like, I feel like when my businesses were a lot smaller, I feel like it's much easier now because I don't have those personal relationships anymore. Like, I've got a few more layers in between.
Yeah.
But I think for the traditional salon owner who's got like 8 staff and they're like that head honcho and they're rallying everyone together, I think
it's hard not to get personal.
That balance is so difficult,
It's
isn't
really
it? It's
hard.
like, where do you draw that line and how do they step into being the salon owner versus the salon friend? Because they're still trying to be one of them. And how
They
does that...
cannot
They
be
can't.
a friend.
Never.
I'll never forget Julie, who's my GM, as you know,
Yeah, love
been with
her.
me 30 years by my side. And when I made her my assistant manager back in the day, we just bought the business. She was on the reception. And I could just see from what she was noticing and commenting on and bringing attention to the way her brain was working. And I just knew I had to have her as my sidekick. And I said to her then, you know, come upstairs to the office. You're going to work with me in the office, but you can't be everyone's mate.
No.
That's the decision you make. And you know, conversely, here's the thing. They don't want you to be their mate. Even if it's 5 people in a salon, they do not want their boss to be their mate. They want their boss to be one thing, and that is consistent. That's fair as well, obviously firm but fair, but it's the consistency that matters. And that's difficult because we all have good days and we all have bad days. But really, knowing that every day you're going to say to them, please don't chew gum. I mean, I must say that more times than hot dinners. Please don't chew gum. Can you take your gum out, please? You know, having that consistency and knowing the boss is going to come in, and when she comes in and she sees me chewing gum, she's going to say something.
Yeah.
And, you know, one day I said to someone, do you know, I don't want to come in and have to, the first conversation I have with you is to remind you of something that I remind you of every day. But it's a bit like the safety briefing on the plane or getting on the tube and being told you can't smoke on London Underground.
Mind the gap.
Mind the gap. If you don't hear it, you go, why not?
What's going on? Yeah.
So the boss's job is just to deliver the same consistent message. And they want you to be consistent, to do the same thing about pay rises as you've always done, to treat things consistently. They don't want to be your mate.
But they want you to lead because
Yeah.
it gives them hope for their career, and they want to see better things for the salon.
They want to see that you've got a progression plan. I think that's really important. They want to see that you have identified their talents and that you have thought about their talents. I remember when Gavin said to me once, you know, lovely Gavin, he was a hairdresser and he'd just come and do clients whenever, fill in for us, because he was doing hair for like a Saudi royal family and he was on call for them 24/7 or whoever he was working for. So sometimes I'd just ring him up when we first started the business, say, Gav, can you come in? Can you come in and just do a column for me? And I'd say to him every time, please work for me, please work, please, 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 please. And he'd say, no. Then he got fed up with hairdressing. And then he said to me, well, you know what, I love being in a salon, but I don't want to be a hairdresser. And I said, right, well, come on the desk. And after a while on the desk, I realised, don't get him to book an appointment because it'd probably be wrong. Sorry, Gav, but it's true. Admin, crap, but everybody adored him. So I made him the maitre d'. And I said, you're not staying on this desk. You're going to run the salon. You're going to floor walk. You're going to be that person. And almost on his job description, I just put the word like schmooze. We all say, what's my job? I said, you've got one word, schmooze. Schmooze the client, schmooze the staff, look after everything, make everything flow. And, you know, I identified a talent in him that he didn't even really know he had.
And I think that's the key to it. It doesn't matter how small you are, you need either, if you're, you know, on your own or with someone else, you need a mentor, or you also need someone that's got your back at work, you know, that can be just cool. You know, if you're a salon manager right now, maybe just get a team leader. Find a team leader that you can trust and that you can sort of lean on so that you can actually be the salon leader and actually lead, you know, your whole team.
But the other thing people think is they think, oh, well, you know, they start doing something and they're not consistent with it. This is what happens a lot. So they start it and they think all their intentions are right.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to have a monthly, we're going to have a
Like the
weekly
new
staff
year.
meeting. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do that. And then when they don't do it, they stop it. So people, then again, it's inconsistency and the team are like, oh yeah, they said they were going to do that, they didn't do it. So you really have to be consistent. And I think sometimes I've been teaching courses and I've said to people, you know, people have asked me how often I do appraisals. And I'll always turn it back and I say, well, how often do you do it? And they'll go, oh, we do a performance review every week. I go, what? Why? Why would you do a performance review every week? It's way too much.
And a waste of time.
It's a waste of time because it has no meaning. A 5-minute chat at the backwash is not a performance review. Do it little and often and do it properly.
Yeah. That's what I found with pay rises as well, just doing it little and often rather than waiting a year. Or the worst part, I think, is if someone asks you for a pay rise.
Always get in there first.
Always have to. Or if they've had to ask you, and I always say this to everyone, if you've had to ask me for a pay rise,
that's
either
my bad.
My bad, but either the company can't afford it, which I would usually tell you, like, you're really good, but I just can't afford to pay you anymore. I'm just quite transparent like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's the truth. Or you're not good enough. Like, you know, and this is harsh.
Do you think, though, because British people have a very sort of reserved mentality about money and pay. They don't like talking about money. They don't like talking about pay. They get all embarrassed and twitchy and, you know. Do you think it's a cultural thing? Do you think that you are... Because do you know what? I've never actually turned around to someone and said, you're really good. The company just can't afford to pay you any more money at the moment. And maybe I should.
Well, I do it a lot. I have a lot of amazing people. And if I could pay them more, I would, you know. But it's the truth. And I'd rather just say, look, when we get there... just trust in me that I have your back. Like, and I think that's kind of how I've built my businesses is like my team trusts me to do the right thing. They know that I'm not, you know, they know I'm in it with them, I hope, because
But also you're showing them that you're consistent.
Yeah.
And that's what they want. They want to know you're their employer. They want you to be reliable. They don't want you to be doing one thing 1 minute and then forgetting all about it the next and then trying something different and then forgetting about it the next minute. They want consistency. They almost want to know that your standards that you expect from them are going to stay the same. Because otherwise people get away with it and then you get your bad egg.
But I think yours is quite an interesting concept of like you've got, say, 100 staff in one salon, right? So, and I feel bad that how you explained it earlier. It doesn't matter how many staff
it's
you've
just
got.
Scale. Forget about that. Yeah,
exactly.
I have the same problems that I've had when I was running Army and Navy Eastbourne. Hi, Claire, because she'll be watching. She was my salon manager there when she had 3 people.
But people
same,
just
same
want
issues. Same
people
problems.
want progression, and I think that's why I've built my salons in a way that we want to keep growing salons because I want to keep growing people's opportunities. And what I've learned is from people coming to us is that the person that they've come from, it's just one salon. They weren't trying very hard anymore. They hadn't done any refresh for like 20 years, and you know they're not investing in their marketing. They haven't been on a training course for like 5 years, and all these things that are so basic that a salon could fix. So they don't want a lot, really. They just want to feel valued.
Yeah, but don't you think as well that, you know, not everybody... I think it's really key to take a minute and do a proper annual performance review where you go out for a coffee for half an hour and you have a chat. And the chat isn't about, you know, what you're doing wrong as a company. The chat is about them, their performance, their progression, and what they want, because not everybody wants the same opportunities. We're very wrong if we're assuming that everybody wants to be a manager or everybody wants to be an artistic director. You know, they might. I have plenty of people that don't want to be anything. They just want to earn more money. I have plenty of people that don't really care about the money, but want more opportunities, artistic, creative, educational. It's our job as a boss to figure out who wants what opportunities and where can you best use their skills. And I think the biggest lesson I've learned running a team of people is not trying to make everybody perfect and not going, right, so this person's really good at X, Y, and Z, but A, B, and C is a bit iffy. So let's spend time educating them and training them on A, B, and C, get them better at that. No, forget A, B, and C. Just cultivate the strengths, strengthen the strengths, nurture the talent, nurture the bits they like to do, and don't worry about the bits they can't do.
One question I've been asking a lot of the team this year was, what's one strength of yours that we're not utilising?
Oh, I like that.
And
I'm going to nick that.
The amount of stuff
I'm
that came
stealing
out
that.
of that, and then they start telling you why they think they're good at that and why they think that they could improve this part of the company that they think's weak. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think that was weak, but okay. So then you have this whole other conversation, and it's everybody wants to feel like they're
Contributing.
that they're part of something. And I think no matter how small your salon is, that they all want to feel that you're all in it together. What are you aiming for? Are you going to be the best salon in the town, or what are you trying to aim for?
But taking time to communicate that. So strategizing that first of all, and then taking time to really communicate it. And that's why team meetings are really important.
Yeah.
Now, we have a team meeting every 6 weeks.
Is it quite open? Like, how do you sort of, what's the agenda?
So what now this works really much better for us. We have all the department heads have their meetings in the morning, and then we have the main team meeting that same day. So if you don't do it that way round, you have the team meeting and afterwards someone says, oh, you didn't say about X and Y and Z. So we have the department head meeting in the morning. What are the issues? What are the problems? What's coming up? What I've been doing, what we're doing on marketing, etc. And I do need to come back to what our marketing plans are for the future, because I've had to rethink that as well. And then we have that staff meeting, communicate everything that night. And it's quite fluid. It lasts about half an hour. We do it every 6 weeks. It's at the end of the day. Yeah. Nick, our barman's got the bar open. Everyone gets a drink. There's an employee of the month. Yeah. We talk about what's happening. Communication is really important. And I think if you're doing something with a smaller team, you either over communicate and do too much too often and in dribs and drabs and not in a very structured way, and you don't think you need any structure to it, but you do need structure to it. They need to know this is the team meeting, it happens then. Not doing it too often, because they don't need it. Let them get on with their job. Focus on what you're focusing on for the next couple of months, and then let them get on with it.
I think people just want to feel like if they're working for a salon, they want to work for a professional company. Like I find this whole thing about people say family a lot, like, oh, in the salon world, we're a big family. I'm like, really? Like, family's lovely, but I like to think of everyone as a sports team. We're a sports team and we want to win.
Yeah.
Like, people come
with
and
the
go.
lionesses.
Yeah. But the badge stays the same, like it's kind of like we are the company and people come and go, but with a family, you can't be honest with them. You know what I mean? Or they don't necessarily care if you win or not.
Yeah, I hear you. I do hear you. I mean, we actually are a family because everyone's either bloody married to someone or somebody's niece or nephew or met at the salon, got kids together. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But most businesses aren't a family. I do think that whole sort of culture that you breed, and I think team is great.
Team, yeah.
I like that.
I like the sports team mentality because we're here to win. I want my staff to win as much as possible.
That's
so I want them to earn it, and I want them to feel like they're working for an amazing company.
And every single person in that team has got their part to play.
Absolutely.
So marketing for us. So one thing I did when we first started the business was so this was in a recession. So we bought this bankrupt business in a recession. It was losing $5,000 a week in 1992. And we didn't have long to turn it around. And we used to go and take a bottle of champagne to all the hotel concierges in London. Because in those days, a lot of hotels didn't have spas and salons. And we'd say, right, slip him a 50 quid note. You send all your customers to us. And, you think back, we couldn't even change our name because the yellow pages had just been printed, and we were worried that all of our clients, if we changed our name from Neville Daniel, which was the bankrupt business we bought, to Richard Ward, no one would know how to find us. Before the internet. That's how old I am. Can you believe
You're not
that?
that old.
Anyway, so this year I said to Gav, right, January, this was back in October, I said, you are marking yourself out for a week, and you are going to go to all the hotels, all the concierges, and you're going to remind them who we are, where we are. Because the thing about a lot of top London salons and big salons, super salons as they call them, closing, is actually we're not capitalising on that yet, and we should be. We should be going to all these hotels and saying, right, weekend package just for people that are staying at the Corinthia. Here's your QR code. Come in, have a treatment, have a massage, have a blow dry, have your nails done, whatever you want, a glass of champagne. So he's on a mission. And I think these collaborations
You're so right.
with businesses are so fruitful. Yeah. And we do it with the restaurant next door, Manicomio. We do it with the boutique opposite, Trilogy. We were the 3 individual businesses, a boutique, a restaurant and a salon that started in Duke of York Square. And we all feed each other business and look after each other's clients with reciprocal arrangements. And I think reciprocal collaborations are really, really good.
Yeah, and like it shouldn't be scared of like, say if you've got a hair salon, you should go to the next local beauty salon and say, look, let's work together. You know, don't be scared to do it.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you're in it together.
Team up with the nail bar, team up with the whoever it is.
There's so much you can be doing. But I think, like you say at the start, it's dedicating the time to do it. You've got to be very strong with your time. And, you know, you run your column very strong, but you should be able to just add in an extra half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening. Like I schedule everything. I schedule my exercise. I'm very, very rigid with my calendar. Like I think everyone should be.
But I think gone are the days where people, you know, got brownie points for like saying, oh, I have to work on a Sunday and I have to do that after work. Why? You shouldn't have to.
No.
Make it part of your day. I'll never forget someone come on my course and they were a hairdresser and the busiest hairdresser in the salon, same old story, thinking they couldn't take time off the salon floor to run the business, and they'd come on one of my courses and then they'd gone back to work and they emailed me and said, I took the morning off to work on targets, looking at my accounts, planning some promotional activity, upskilling, delegating some tasks, etc., all the things you told me to do. And someone, when I came back out in the afternoon to do a client, one of the team members said, oh, easy day you've had then, easy morning you've had sitting in the office.
Fuck off.
Now you can do some work. Honestly, but that is the mentality.
That's the problem.
You've got to get over that.
You have to get over it, but also I try and communicate as well, like what I'm doing, because they think I sit in my ivory tower doing nothing. I know they do. But I'm always doing something. So again, it's just constantly communicating, like, what do you think about this? I've been thinking about this. This is what I think we should do for 2026. Get them involved, make them understand that you're working on something. You don't have to tell them everything you're doing.
Yeah.
You've got to have the confidence to say, I'm also running a business. I have a column, but I also need to run a business, which takes a lot of time as well. So I have to schedule that in. So if you feel worried about actually what you're perceived as with your team, maybe start your team meeting for 2026 and say, hey, this is who I'm going to be this year, and this is what we're going to do. And try and give them some sort of understanding of how that's going to run, because otherwise they're not surprised.
Yeah, and all of this will take time.
Yep.
And, you know, I'm going to give myself the time to do it. I'm going to give myself the time to create the tools to help me run a successful business. Because at the end of the day, one of my team members actually said to me the other day, he said, you know what? Because you do all the things you do and because you're consistent, and he wasn't just telling me what I wanted to hear, we're too old for that. He said, it gives me the confidence to be an employee of this business.
That's nice.
It is nice.
But I think people could easily they can easily have an easier year next year if they schedule the time out to work on the business, not in the business. Yeah. And I think that's where I hope that people will still be able to relate to us, because, you know, I'm not a hairdresser, I'm not a beautician. I work on the business. So it's very easy for me to say, oh, just work on your business. So I get all of that. But you can work on your business, but you have to block out the time to do it and dedicate the time to do it consistently, like you say.
Absolutely. And identify the right people that want to go on that journey with you, and give them, you know, delegate responsibilities and accept the fact they are going to fuck things up. They're going to get things wrong.
Yeah.
And you have got to let them fly. You know, another thing people always used to say to me was, yeah, but what if you let them do it, they'll get it wrong and they'll cock it up. That's how you ride a bike. You can watch as many YouTube videos on riding a bike as you like, but you've got to get on the bloody thing, crash into the wall to figure out how to ride it.
But let them fail, otherwise, and let them try.
Got to embrace failure.
Yeah. So I think the things for next year, sales and marketing wise, you've got to actually know what your sales are, and that's going to take time to figure out, and your marketing. Giving your receptionist a very big sense of direction because they can get involved with the marketing. They've got 8 hours in a day.
And don't you think sometimes we focus on, if you look at your turnover split, right, and what your most successful service is, what brings in the most revenue, why do we look at improving things that only bring in 1% of revenue or 2% of revenue? Why don't we look at improving things that bring in 70% of revenue? Because a slight improvement on that will have dramatic consequences on your turnover.
Yeah, so focus on the thing that's going to make the most impact. Absolutely.
Strengths.
Well, this has been a very interesting conversation. I feel like we could talk for ages, but yeah, we've only got a short amount of time. But hopefully people can just focus. I think that's the year of focus, isn't it?
Yeah, and review. I mean, we'll definitely at some point in this podcast in the future review how all these things worked out, whether they worked, whether they didn't. What was the most successful route?
We hope you enjoyed today's episode and got lots of useful information out of it. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Stay tuned for our next episode where we answer all of your questions for what's going on in the industry right now.